I have a question. If Rob Lowe was to perform some home improvement to his house, what hardware store would he go to? Would he go to Ace, the helpful place, Home Depot, or Lowe's? I don't know. It was just a question I had to ask. Well, probably would go to Lowe's in Bad Influence in 1990. A taut, suspenseful thriller, says Variety. Let's see. Stylish, tough, lurid, immoral, and irresistible, says Box Office. There's nothing more enticing than evil, especially when it's hiding behind a killer smile and draped in designer suits. Rob Lowe, The West Wing, and James Spader's various movies star in this slightly seductive and thoroughly enjoyable thriller, says the Wall Street Journal. From director Curtis Hanson, LA Confidential, and writer David Coep, Spider-Man. Financial analyst Michael Ball, Spader, seems to have everything. Brains, money, a socially connected fiancé, and a blindingly bright future. Then he meets Alex Lowe, an impeccably dressed drifter with fatal charm and insatiable appetite for wine, woman, and danger. Alex befriends Michael and takes him for a walk on the wild side. But Michael soon discovers that there's a terrible price to pay for life in the fast lane, because hanging out with Alex can be murder. Yes, this is underrated, in my opinion, because when you think of some of Hanson's other movies, Bedroom Window, and of course LA Confidential, this one doesn't get talked about much. It is the definition, I guess you could say, of a transitional neo-noir, where there's still stuff going on, but also had more of the way how the action movies were being phased out into more of the kind of stealthy stuff, with Mission Impossible. This one felt like transition. I could just as easily be wrong, but then again, this movie had a certain influence, and it also shows its own influence with Alphaville, which I'll get into later. But here for this one, it's a seduction into the dark side. It's a way of showing it, saying, hey, Los Angeles is a heck of a city. I mean, there are so many gosh darn movies that take place in there, but at the same time, there's a seedy, not exactly a seedy maybe a seedy underside. There's the underground ways of, like, what's that? There's a scene with dancing going on, like where Skinny Puppy, the punk band, is playing, and there's women with dancing with fluorescent light bulbs. Yeah, it's an interpretive dance to represent the more exotic side of the city. So I guess it doesn't feel like, sometimes it feels like that the city is alive, and I guess it is to a point, where it's a character, but it's more like the story here. It focuses more on the characters than the story, and we actually get to see Rob Lowe do a pretty good, dang good job here. Some of the time it's like he either acts menacingly, standing in a corner, but I personally like it but yeah, at the same time, he does show that he is where he takes the, I don't want to say naive, but person who's trying to trying to stay in a straight line, if you will. But here comes this influencer, this man who blackmail you, which is a typical noir convention, which it does really well here. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. So we get a couple of scenes, and I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Like After Effects. I'm like, okay, so they both rob a hamburger joint of all things in a liquor store. On what Spader, who's already intoxicated, wearing a bunny mask. Seriously, they go, and the camera's placed outside, so it's like we're witnessing, but we can't do anything about it. And they so Spader's character grabs a lollipop, and then Alex is doing the holdup. Then he drunkenly goes and grabs the bottle of booze, and they escape. And it's just like, we also get to see more of the dark side. It goes on as the threats increase of Alex removing all the stuff from Michael's home, eliminating the Claire, a potential girlfriend, and what he does with Spader's dorkier looking brother. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that it works well. I mean, it's even the fact that he even shows a videotape of Michael Bull having a good time with a lady, and he plays it in front of a party of people, and also to Michael himself and me. And so I'm like, yeah, that's definitely blackmail right there. I'm just like, you can't make this stuff up. It is so dang good. Just like what he does. It's like he doesn't deliver any monologues or anything. But at the same time, some people would say like I wanted a little more from him. But I guess they were grateful that what we got at the same time because there was also coincidentally a sex tape that Rob Lowe was a part of. It literally like right as they were filming it, it gets released and it's just like, well, forget Paris Hilton, whoever had their own. This one's like timing and hilarious. So yeah, it's definitely good. This is what's his face? Spader going against portraying the leader of the gang in Tough Turf, or what he was doing. Like when I reviewed the New Kids, this is him playing a dorky yuppie. So he's playing a subversion of all characters he did. So this was interesting to see. And of course, when they portray the movie Alphaville, I'm like, what's the significance? One, it has to do with the computer that negates any emotion, in which Alex betrays the computer, where he doesn't have it. He doesn't feel any remorse or anything like that. Two, it shows the sterility of the environment. In the first one, it was in black and white, but you could tell that Alphaville itself had its own, I guess you could say, descent in just what the heck is going on here. So then we get to see LA in the more bizarro, more unusual sense, Three, we get to see the computer, we get that, and just the loss of feeling and everything else. So I mean, we don't get like any circles or anything else, or a guy named Eddie or Lemmy Caution, but yeah, you could definitely see just how the person gets beat up and just the villain and everything. So yeah, it's definitely a dang good comparison, I would say. And I'm just like, bravo, Curtis Hanson. Bravo, you definitely know your stuff if you have dang French New Wave cinema. There may be some people who dislike how there is not too much of Rob Lowe, and it just feels like that certain things may or may not happen. It's like, yeah, we're going to go and beat him up, or we're going to have to try and help dispose of the body, and how it always seems to conveniently be there. That is one thing I did notice. I'm just like, could be worse. I'm just like, whatever. Bad Influence, underrated. Give it a watch. It is really dang good.